7th Standard Bridge Course 2. In this session, Bridge Course 2, we are going to see the topics measurements, geometry and statistics. Let us see the first topic, measurements. Children, now let us see the topic measurements. Under this topic, we are going to see about standard units, non-standard units, measurement of length, measurement of weight and measurement of capacity. Let us see one by one. What is standard unit? Standard units are the common units used to measure something specific. We all need to speak the same language to understand each other. So we use hours, minutes and seconds to measure time, ounces and pounds to measure weight, degrees to measure temperature, and inches and feet to measure length or height. Standard units are commonly used units of measurement which help us measure length, height, weight, temperature, mass and more. These units are standardized, which means that everyone gets the same understanding of the size, weight and other properties of objects and things. What about non-standard units? Non-standard units are random items that people choose to measure with. For example, I can use a paper clip to measure my notebook or yarn to measure my brother's height. I can use my hands to know if something is heavier or lighter, and I can use my fingers to measure my friend's arm. You can get the idea. The metric system, units of standard measurement. The metric system is the most common system of units which is widely used. In maths lessons, pupils will learn how to use metric units to measure capacity, length, time, temperature and mass. Here are some of the standard measurements units part of the metric system. For length, we are using millimeters. It can be written as mm, centimeters, cm, meters, m, kilometers, km. So here the smallest unit is millimeter and the largest unit is kilometers and the standard unit is meter. For weight or mass, so we are using the metric units, grams, it can be written in short form as gr, kilograms, kg, tons, t. For capacity or volume, we are using the standard units milliliters, ml and liters, L. For time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. For temperature, we are using metric unit degrees Celsius. Measurement of length. What is measuring length? Measuring the length of objects is the part of our day-to-day life. We always perform these type of tasks in which we measure the length. Measuring length means to measure the length of any object with the help of measuring tools like scale. For example, the length of a pencil can be measured in inches using a ruler. Here the length of the pencil is 8 centimeter. The height of the students in a class can be measured using a feet scale. Length, the amount of something that is measured from one end to the other along the longest side is called its length. Length is measured in centimeters, meters, kilometers, feet and miles. And children, once again let's see the units for measuring length. We know that the standard unit of length is meter, which is written in short as meter. The bigger unit of measuring length is kilometer. Smaller measurement units are decimeter, centimeter and millimeter. And here the millimeter is the smallest unit of measuring length. We know that the standard unit of length is meter, which is written in short as meter. The different units of length and their equivalents are given here. We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. And also it equals 1000 millimeter. 1 centimeter is equal to how many millimeter? 10 millimeters. Conversion of measuring length. So children, we know that standard unit of length is meter. Smaller lengths are measured in centimeters, which is written as cm. Kilometer is the bigger unit of length. So here 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Children, let us see the conversion of meter into centimeter and centimeter into meter, kilometer into meter and meter into kilometer. So, to convert meter into centimeter, we multiply 100 and centimeters into meters, we divide by 100. To convert kilometer into meters, we need to multiply by 100, and to convert meters into kilometers, that is smaller to bigger unit, we need to divide it by 1000. Children, this table will help you to know the conversion of units, that is from smallest to biggest. To convert smaller units to bigger units, you have to divide. And from bigger to smaller, units from biggest to smallest, you need to multiply. The average rainfall of Tamil Nadu is 998 millimeter. Convert it into centimeter. So children, here we need to convert millimeter into centimeter. We know that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter and 1 by 10 centimeter is equal to 1 millimeter. Now the average rainfall is equal to, it is given that 998 millimeter. Now we need to convert millimeter into centimeter, lowest to highest. So what we have to do? Yes, we need to divide 10. 998 divided by 10. So let us take 998.0. Now millimeter changes to centimeter. Now we are dividing 998 by 10. There is only 1 0 in the denominator. So you need to move the decimal point before one digit. So 99.8 centimeter is our required answer. Now let us see measurements of weight. Weight, the amount of matter a thing consists of is called its weight. Measuring weight means to measure the heaviness of a thing. Weight can be measured in grams, kilograms and pounds. Here the metric units of weight are given. Here you have to know 1 milligram is equal to 1 by 1000 gram, or 1 gram is equal to 1000 milligram, and 1 gram is equal to 1 by 1000 kilogram, and 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram. Units of weight: kilogram or kg, gram or GM, kilogram, kg, gram, GM. So here the examples are given: 2 kg, 500 GM, gram. Units of mass and weight conversion chart. 1 milligram is equal to, yes, 1/1000 gram. 1 centigram is equal to 1/100 gram. 1 decigram is equal to 1/10 gram. 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams, and 1 gram is equal to 1000 milligrams. Here you are studying only the last two conversions. That is, the 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams. 1 gram is equal to 1000 milligrams. Murali has a bag that weighs 3 kg, kilogram and 450 grams. What is its weight in gram? So children, here we need to convert kilogram into gram. Already 450 is in gram only. So we need to convert 3 kilogram into gram. Now weight of Murali's bag is, it is given that 3 kg and 450 grams. So in the next step, we know that 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams and 3 kg will be 3000 grams. So Murali's bag, weight of Murali's bag will be 3000 grams and 450 grams. Now adding these two gram values, we get 3450 grams. Children, now let us see measurements of capacity. The amount that something can hold. Usually it means volume, such as milliliters. It can be written in short as ml, or liters, L in metric, or pins or gallons in imperial. Example, this glass has a capacity of 300 ml, but it actually holding only 160 ml. Units for the measurement of capacity. We know that the two main units for the measurement of capacity are liter and milliliter. In short, liter is written as L and milliliter as ml. We know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. 500 milliliter is equal to half of a liter. 250 milliliter is equal to quarter, 1/4 of a liter. 200 ml, milliliter, is equal to 1/5 of a liter. 100 milliliter is equal to 1/10 of a liter. Measurement of capacity. Here liters is the biggest unit. To measure the smallest quantity, we are using the smallest unit called milliliters. Measurement of capacity. So children, to convert liter into milliliter, you have to multiply 1000. You have to multiply 1000. To convert milliliter into liter, that is from smallest to biggest, you have to divide 1000. Convert 526 milliliter into liter. Here from smallest unit to bigger unit. So you need to divide 526 by 1000, because 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter. So 1/1000 liter will be 1 milliliter. Now 526 milliliter. So here we can convert milliliter into liter by dividing 526 by 1000. So here milliliter becomes liter. Here for our convenience put point. Here in the denominator there are 3 zeros. So you need to place the decimal point before 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, the decimal point will be before 5. That is 0.526 liters. A cow drinks 5.750 liters of water. Convert into milliliter. Liter into milliliter. From bigger to smaller. Yes, you need to multiply 1000. Multiply the given value by 1000. Let us write quantity. Quantity of water drunk by the cow is equal to, it is given that 5.750 liters. Now we know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter. 1 by 1000 liter is equal to 1 milliliter. Here 5.750. We have to multiply the number with 1000. Liter becomes milliliter. When we multiply 1000 with the decimal number, we need to place the decimal point from left to right 3 places. Yes, from left to 1, 2, 3 places. Therefore, 5750.0 milliliter. 5750 milliliters. Thus, we converted liter into milliliter by multiplying the given quantity by 1000. Let us see the basics of geometry. Children, now let us see about points, lines and angles. Points, lines and angles are the basics of geometry which collectively define the shapes of an object. What is a point? A point is that which has no path. It is a fixed position. It has only one position. It does not have dimensions like length, breadth or height. It has 0 dimension. Collinear points. 3 or more points lying on same line are called collinear points. Here P, Q, R are called collinear points which lies on the same line. What is non-collinear points? 3 or more points are not lying on the same line are called non-collinear points. Here R is not on the line. So PQR are said to be non-collinear points. Now let us see about lines. What is a line? A line can be defined as a straight set of points that extend in opposite directions. It extends on both the directions. It has no ends in both directions. It has no thickness. It is one-dimensional. It has length. It is one-dimensional. What is a line segment? A line segment is a part of a line which has defined endpoints. It has endpoints, 2 endpoints on both the sides. It has a beginning point and an ending point. What is a ray? A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint, that is starting point, and it extends in one direction endlessly. One endpoint and on the other side it extends endlessly. Types of line. In geometry, there are basically 4 types of lines. They are horizontal lines, vertical lines, parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Let us see one by one. Horizontal lines. When a line moves from left to right in a straight direction in a page, it is called horizontal line. Vertical line. When a line runs from top to bottom in a straight direction, it is a vertical line. Parallel lines. When two straight lines do not meet or intersect at any point, even at infinitive, then they are parallel to each other and they are called parallel lines. Here the lines PQ and RS are parallel lines. They do not intersect at any point. Suppose two lines PQ and RS are parallel lines. It is represented as PQ is parallel to RS. And also children, the distance between these two parallel lines are same. Perpendicular lines. When two lines meet or intersect at an angle of 90 degrees or at a right angle, then they are called perpendicular to each other. The lines are called perpendicular lines. Here the line PQ is perpendicular to RS. If PR and RS are two lines which are perpendicular to each other, that is the angle between these two lines is 90 degree, then it is represented as PQ is perpendicular to RS. The symbol for perpendicular is this. Angles. Let us see about angles. What is an angle? In geometry, an angle can be defined as the figure formed by two rays meeting at a common endpoint. Here, the two rays are called arms of an angle, and the common endpoint is said to be vertex. An angle is represented by the symbol. Here, the angle below is angle AOB, angle. Parts of an angle. Arms, vertex. The two rays joining to form an angle are called arms of an angle. Here OA, OB are the arms of the angle AOB. Vertex, the common endpoint at which the two rays meet to form an angle is called the vertex of the angle. Here the point O is the vertex of an angle AOB. Once again children, listen. Here angle AOB. Here the two rays OA and OB are said to be arms of an angle, and the common point, fixed point, which connects two arms is called vertex. We can find angles in various things around us, such as in a pair of scissors, hockey stick, a chair. Here, scissors having acute angle and a hockey stick has obtuse angle, and the angle of a chair is 90 degree, which is right angle. Types of angles. Angles can be classified on the basis of their measurements as acute angles, right angles, obtuse angles, straight angles, reflex angles, and then complete angles. Acute angle. So here children, greater than 0 and less than 90, the angle between 0 and 90 degree is said to be acute angle. For example, 62 is the acute angle. And if an angle is exactly equal to 90 degree, then the angle is said to be right angle. And the angle greater than 90 and less than 180. That is the angle between 90 to 180 is said to be obtuse angle. Here is an example of obtuse angle. 135 is an obtuse angle, and the angle is exactly equal to 180 degree is said to be straight angle, and the angle greater than 180 and less than 360 is said to be reflex angle, and 240 degree is an example of reflex angle. And complete angle, that is the angle is exactly equal to 360 degree, is known as complete angle. Interior and exterior angles. Interior angles are the angles formed within or inside a shape. Here angle ABC, angle BCA and angle CAB are interior angles. Exterior angles are the angles formed outside between any side of a shape and a line extended from the adjoining side. Here angle ACD is an exterior angle. Children, here angle ABC, angle ACB and angle BAC are interior angles, and angle ACD is an exterior angle because it lies exterior outside the triangle. Children, now let us see about the shape, 2D shape triangle in detail. What is a triangle? In geometry, a triangle is a closed two-dimensional shape with 3 straight sides. A triangle is also a polygon. Children, what is a polygon? In geometry, a polygon can be defined as a flat or plain two-dimensional closed shape with straight sides. It does not have curved sides. We can find the shape of a triangle in a flag, a musical instrument, triangle, and a roadside signboard. Properties of a triangle. Now let us see the properties of a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides, 3 vertices and 3 angles. The sum of the 3 interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degree. The sum of the length of 2 sides of a triangle is always greater than the length of the third side. So children, here the second property, the sum of the 3 interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degree, is known as angle sum property. The third property, the sum of the length of 2 sides of a triangle is always greater than the length of the third side. This property is known as triangle inequality. A triangle with vertices PQ and R is denoted as triangle PQR. The area of a triangle is equal to half of the product of its base and height. Different types of triangles. To classify triangles according to their angles, we measure each of its interior angles. Triangles can be classified by angles as acute angle triangle, right angle triangle, obtuse angle triangle. An acute triangle has all interior angles are acute. That is, all the angles of the triangle is less than 90 degree. A right triangle has one angle is right angle. That is, one angle of the right triangle is equal to 90 degree. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle that is greater than 90 degree. So when you see one of the angle of obtuse triangle is greater than 90 degree. To classify the triangles according to their sides, we measure the length of each of its sides. Triangles can be classified by their sides as equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, scalene triangle. Equilateral triangle, all the three sides are equal. Isosceles triangle, two sides are equal. And in scalene triangle, no sides are equal. To classify triangles according to both angles and sides, we measure the interior angles and length of the sides of the triangle. Few examples of triangles classified on the basis of both angles and sides are acute equilateral triangle, right isosceles triangle, obtuse scalene triangle. In acute equilateral triangle, all angles measure less than 90 degree, all sides are equal. In right isosceles triangle, one angle is 90 degree and two sides are equal. So two sides means it is isosceles triangle and one angle is equal to 90 means right triangle. So both the properties is there. So the triangle is said to be right isosceles triangle. In obtuse scalene triangle, one angle measures greater than 90 degree and no sides is equal. So this triangle is said to be obtuse scalene triangle. Children, once again let us recall, a triangle has three sides, three angles and three vertices. Plural for vertex is known as vertices. Types of triangles based on the sides. When all the sides of a triangle are equal, we call it an equilateral triangle. When two sides of a triangle are equal, we call it an isosceles triangle. In the triangle above, you can observe that there are only two sides with the symbol marked on them. When none of the sides of a triangle are equal, we call it as scalene triangle. In the above triangle, you can observe that all three symbols on each side are different, which denote that all the three sides of the triangle are unequal. Types of triangles based on the angles. When all the three angles of a triangle are acute angles, we call it an acute angle triangle or simply acute triangle. When one of the angle in the triangle is right angle, that is 90 degree, we call it a right angle triangle or simply right triangle. In the above triangle, observe the symbol marked at vertex C. This denotes a right angle, that is 90 degree. Thus the triangle is a right angle triangle or simply right triangle. When one of the angles in a triangle is an obtuse angle, that is greater than 90 degree, we call it an obtuse angle triangle or simply obtuse triangle. The following triangle is an obtuse angle triangle because the angle F is greater than 90 degree. Perimeter and area. The perimeter is the length of the outline of a shape, that is the total length of the boundary. To find the perimeter of a rectangle or square, you have to add the lengths of all the four sides. X is in this case the length of the rectangle, while Y is the width of the rectangle. Then what is the perimeter of the rectangle? Yes, it is 2x plus 2y. What is the perimeter? So in geometry, perimeter can be defined as the part or the length of the boundary that surrounds the shape. It can also be defined as the length of the outline of a shape, length of the outline of a shape or total length of the boundary. So children, we know that perimeter of a square, since it is square, all sides are equal in length, A. Say A. Then what is the perimeter of a square? Yes, A plus A plus A plus A. Length of the four sides. So it is equal to 4A. A plus A plus A plus A is equal to 4A. Example, if A is equal to 3, then what is the perimeter of the square? Yes, 4 into 3 is equal to 12 units, or you can add 3 4 times. Perimeter of a rectangle. So rectangle is a two-dimensional polygon with 4 straight sides. It is a quadrilateral. So here A is width and length is D, and here the other width is C and other length is B. Then what is the perimeter? 2 into length plus width, that is 2 times length plus 2 times width. Perimeter of a triangle. Yes, when you add the 3 sides, the length of the 3 sides, you get the perimeter of the triangle PQR. That is, perimeter of the triangle PQR is equal to PQ plus QR plus RP. Now let us see about area. In geometry, the area can be defined as the space occupied by a flat shape or the surface of an object. The area of a figure is the number of unit squares that cover the surface of a closed figure. Area is measured in square units such as square centimeters, square feet, square inches, etc. So children, area is measured in square units, and recall, perimeter measured in units. Area measured in square units and perimeter measured in units. Children, now let us see area of some shapes. Area of a square is side square, and area of the rectangle is length into breadth. Area of the parallelogram is base into height, and area of the trapezoid is A is equal to A plus B by 2 into H. That is the sum of two opposite sides and multiplied by the height divided by 2. And triangle, half into base into height. Circle, pi r square, where r is the radius of the circle, and pi is equal to 22 by 7 or 3.14. Now let us see an interesting topic, symmetry. What is symmetry? Look at these two images of butterflies. What difference do you see? The first butterfly looks exactly the same from both the left and right sides, while the second butterfly does not look the same from left and right sides. The images which can be divided into identical halves are called symmetrical. The images that cannot be divided into identical halves are called asymmetrical. Real life examples of symmetry: reflection of trees in clear water and reflection of mountains in a lake. Wings of most butterflies are identical on the left and right sides. Some human faces are the same on the left and right side. Now let us see line of symmetry. Any line splitting a shape into two parts such that the two parts are the same is called a line of symmetry. These parts are also said to be symmetrical to each other. For example, the image below shows a line of symmetry which splits the red outlined shape into two parts that are exactly the same. Isn't it? Based on the above examples, we obtained the following observations. The sides of the image split up by the line of symmetry must look the same. If we fold the paper on which image is drawn along the line of symmetry, each part of the image will completely overlap the other part. Shapes with more than one line of symmetry. Can we have more than one line of symmetry? The answer is yes. The table below shows some examples of shapes or figures with more than one line of symmetry. Here, rectangle. So rectangle, vertically and horizontally, it divides into two equal parts. So line of symmetry is 2. And pentagon. Pentagon has many lines of symmetry. Children, same as pentagon, hexagon is also has many lines of symmetry. And here the shape has two lines of symmetry. Vertically and horizontally, it divides the shape into two equal parts. And H, the letter H has two lines of symmetry. Horizontally and vertically, it divides the letter H into two equal parts. Children, now let us see an example. Given below is the left part of a picture or a shape and its line of symmetry is given. Compare the picture and draw the other half of the shape. So line of symmetry, which means that it divides the given shape into two equal parts, isn't it? So it divides equally. So you have to draw the other part. The complete picture is as shown below. The other half should be exactly the same as the given half. We can use the grids to find the other half. We look at each vertex of the yellow part and measure its distance from the line of symmetry. Now we draw each vertex corresponding to the yellow part vertices on the purple section, keeping the distance from the line of symmetry. Now children, let us see some 2D shapes and its lines of symmetry. Square. The shape square has 4 lines of symmetry. Rectangle has 2 lines of symmetry. Rhombus has 2 lines of symmetry. Kite has 1 line of symmetry. Isosceles trapezoid has 1 line of symmetry. Trapezoid has no lines of symmetry. Parallelogram has no lines of symmetry. Equilateral triangle has 3 lines of symmetry. Isosceles triangle has 1 line of symmetry. The line of symmetry can be categorized based on its orientation as vertical line of symmetry, horizontal line of symmetry, diagonal line of symmetry. Vertical line of symmetry. A vertical line of symmetry is that line that runs down vertically, divides an image into two identical halves. For example, the following shape can be split into two identical halves by a standing straight line. In such a case, the line of symmetry is vertical. Vertical line of symmetry. So here the line which divides the shape into two equal halves. Here the line is said to be vertical line of symmetry. What is horizontal line of symmetry? The horizontal line of symmetry divides a shape into identical halves when split horizontally. That is, cut from right to left or vice versa. For example, the following shape can be split into two equal halves when cut horizontally. In such a case, the line of symmetry is horizontal. Here is an example. The arrow mark is divided into two equal parts horizontally. So the line of symmetry is said to be horizontal line of symmetry. What is diagonal line of symmetry? A diagonal line of symmetry divides a shape into identical halves when split across the diagonal corners. For example, we can split the following square shapes across the corners to form two identical halves. In such a case, the line of symmetry is diagonal. Yes, here the line of symmetry which divides the shape square into two equal halves diagonally. So, the line of symmetry is said to be diagonal line of symmetry. A line of symmetry is an axis along which an object when cut will have identical halves. These objects might have one, two or multiple lines of symmetry. One line of symmetry, two lines of symmetry, infinite lines of symmetry. What is one line of symmetry? Figures with one line of symmetry are symmetrical only about one axis. It may be horizontal, vertical or diagonal. For example, the letter A has one line of symmetry. That is the vertical line of symmetry along its center. Two lines of symmetry. Figures with two lines of symmetry are symmetrical only about two lines. The lines may vertical, horizontal or diagonal lines. For example, the rectangle has two lines of symmetry, vertical and horizontal. Infinite lines of symmetry. Figures with infinite lines of symmetry are symmetrical only about two lines. The lines may be vertical, horizontal or diagonal lines. For example, the rectangle has two lines of symmetry, vertical and horizontal. Children, recall what are the shapes and how many lines of symmetry they have. And also children, recall that hexagon and pentagon has infinite number of symmetry. Children, now let us see the types of symmetry. Symmetry can be viewed when you flip, turn or slide an object. There are four types of symmetry that can be observed in various cases. Translational symmetry, rotational symmetry, reflective symmetry, glide symmetry. Let us see one by one. Now, what is translation symmetry? If an object is moved from one position to another with the same orientation in the forward and backward motion, it is called translational symmetry. In other words, translation symmetry is defined as the sliding of an object about an axis. Translation symmetry is defined as the sliding of an object about an axis. For example, the following figure where the shape is moved forward and backward in the same orientation by keeping the fixed axis depicts translational symmetry. This is the example of translational symmetry. Here the shape hexagon slides from one place to another. Rotational symmetry. When an object is rotated in a particular direction around a point, then it is known as rotational symmetry, also known as radial symmetry. Rotational symmetry exists when a shape is turned and the shape is identical to the origin. The angle of rotational symmetry is the smallest angle at which the figure can be rotated to coincide with itself, and the order of symmetry is how the object coincides with itself when it is in rotation. Here is an example of rotational symmetry. Here is the shape rotated about the origin. Reflective symmetry. Reflective symmetry, also called mirror symmetry, is a type of symmetry where one half of the object reflects the other half of the object. For example, in general, human faces are identical on the left and right sides. This is the example of reflective symmetry. Glide symmetry. Glide symmetry is the combination of both translation and reflection transformations. A glide reflection is commutative in nature, and the change in combinations order does not alter the output of the glide reflection. Important notes. Given below are some important notes, points related to the concept of symmetry. Children, all regular polygons are symmetrical in shape. The number of lines of symmetry is the same as the number of its sides. An object and its image are symmetrical with reference to its mirror line. If a figure has rotational symmetry of 180 degree, then it has point symmetry. What is point symmetry? Yes, let us see about point symmetry. An object has a point symmetry if every part of the object has a matching part. Many letters of the English alphabet have point symmetry. The point O is the central point and the matching parts are in opposite directions. Here O is the point symmetry. The matching parts are in the opposite directions. Now let us see about the topic statistics. In mathematics, an average or central tendency of a data set refers to a measure of the middle or expected value of the data set. Meaning, central tendency. What does mean by central tendency? Is a single value which is used to represent an entire set of data. It is also called average or measure of location. Measures of central tendency. They are arithmetic mean, median, mode. First, let us study about mean. The mean or average of a data set is found by adding all numbers in the data set and then dividing by the number of values in the set. What is median? The median is the middle value when a data set is ordered from least to greatest. The mode is the number that occurs most often in a data set. Mean, the average value. How to find the mean? First, add up all the numbers. As our second step, divide the sum by the number of values. For example, the mean of 3, 2, 10, 5 is, first you have to add up all the numbers 3, 2, 10, 5 and then divide the sum by the number of values. Find the mean of the following numbers. We know that mean is equal to sum of all observations divided by number of observations. Sum of all observations, that is, we need to add all the numbers, all the given observations, divided by number of observations, that is, how many numbers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11. We need to divide the sum by 11. So when you add all the numbers, you get 418. 418 divided by 11 is 38. Thus the mean is 38. Now how to find median, the middle number? Put the numbers from smallest to largest. That is, you have to arrange the given numbers from smallest to biggest. That is in ascending order. And then the number in the middle is the median. If there are two numbers in the middle, add them and divide by 2. So children, you have to arrange the given numbers in ascending order first, and then you have to see which number is in the middle. That middle number is said to be median of the given numbers, data. If there are two numbers, you have to take average. That is, you have to add them and divide it by 2. This is an example. 5, 13, 9, 7, 1, 9, 2, 9 and 11. So first you have to write in ascending order from smallest to biggest. Here the middle number is 9. Therefore the median of the given numbers is 9. And another method to find the median is, first step, arrange the data in ascending or descending order. And then if the number of terms is odd, then n plus 1 by 2th term is the median. If the number of terms is even, then average of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1th terms is the median. Find the median of the following golf scores. Children, we know that as our first step, arrange the given data in ascending or descending order. And if the number of terms, count the numbers. If it is odd number, then n plus 1 by 2th term is the median. If the number of terms is even, then the average of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1th term is the median. So here let us arrange the given scores in ascending order and from smallest to biggest. And what is the number of terms? Yes, it is 7, which is odd. So the median is n plus 1 by 2th term. Here n is 7. 7 plus 1 by 2. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 by 2th term. Cancelling 8 and 2, we get 4. So 4th term. So children, listen carefully. 4th term is your median. You have to see the 4th term in arranged sequence. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore 73 is your median. Find the median of the following weights of 10 students. So 10, number of observation is 10. And here as our first step, you need to arrange the given weights of the students in ascending order from smallest to biggest and count the number of observations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here n is equal to 10, which is even. So when the number of observation is even, the median is the average of n by 2th term plus n by 2 plus 1th term. 1 by 2, what is n? It is 10. So substitute 10 in this formula. So 10 by 2th term plus 10 by 2 plus 1th term. Cancelling 10 and 2, we get 5. So 5th term plus cancelling 10 by 2, we get 5. 5 plus 1 is 6th term. So 1 by 2 of 5th term plus 6th term. 1 by 2 into. So here you have to write the 5th and 6th term in the arranged order. So in the arranged number, which is the 5th term? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 32. And which is the 6th term? It is 35. So right here 1 by 2 of 32 plus 35 kg. And when you add 32 and 35, we get 67. That is, here we are using bit mass. That is, the calculation within the bracket is done first. So 1 by 2 of 67. When you cancel 67 by 2, you get 33.5 kg. Hence, the median is 33.5 kg. Now let us see what is mode. The mode is the most frequent value. Count how many of each value appears. The mode is the value that appears the most, which occurs many times in the sequence. You can have more than one mode. Yes, here in the given numbers 2, 2, 3, 5, 5, 7, 8. Here 2 and 5 comes 2 times. Yes, if 2 modes present in the data, then the data is said to be bimodal data. Mode, the most frequent number. Special cases. No mode. If all the numbers occur the same amount of times, then we can conclude that the sequence has no mode. More than one mode. If more than one number is the most frequent. The marks obtained by 11 students of a class in a test are given. Find the mode of the marks. So children, mode, which means that which occurs maximum number of times in the given data. Here, first, as our first step, you have to arrange the given marks in ascending or descending order. Here, let us arrange the given numbers in ascending order from smallest to biggest. And then see the numbers. Which occurs maximum number of times? Yes, it is 23. 23 occurs 4 number of times. Clearly 23 occurs maximum number of times. Hence, mode of marks is 23. Children, I hope you all understand the topics, measurements, geometry and statistics. Work out all the problems and recall the basics of these topics once again.